let's go game by game and give you the picks for this week in the NFL. All right, it is another week in the NFL. Let's go game by game and give our predictions for each one of these. The order going to be a little bit different from the fantasy. Also, I said this in the last segment, but if you're watching just the YouTube video of this after the fact, with a lot of these previews before, I've given my picks and the gambling thoughts along with the fantasy in one video. If you're looking for the fantasy football, that was in a different video. But if you are watching live, get your fantasy football questions in right now. Okay. Let's start. Bears taking on the Bengals. The Bears on the road are favored by 2.5 points. The total is at 51. Neither defense is very good. So I think even with the potential of Joe Flacco not being in the lineup, there could be an over in play here. Flacco's injury does kind of keep me away from going too far onto the over in terms of making that like an actual play this week. Trying to find some player props here that we like. Looking at a Caleb Williams one. Do we have... Oh, we don't have those props in this particular site. Great. Fantastic. Okay. Well, never mind that then. Man, like Flacco has really turned things around for the Bengals. This number, while we're recording, the number now has bumped up to 3. So make sure, do some line shopping, see if you can find a better one out there. But right now what I'm seeing is Bears -3. As we were recording this, that line takes a bit of a hop there. But if Flacco is playing, I kind of like the Bengals in this spot. There are pieces on the Bears that I really like, and I do worry that the Bengals defense won't be able to stop Caleb Williams at all, where I think the Bears defense can get a stop or two. But Joe Flacco has really kind of reinvigorated this offense with the Bengals. And so I'm going to take the risk and go Cincinnati +3 in this game. Atlanta taking on the New England Patriots. Pats at home, favored by 5.5, with the total being at 45. I like New England in this spot quite a bit. Atlanta, they have been wildly inconsistent. And I do still think, man, I know I just said I like New England, but just thinking about it, I think Atlanta's best beats New England's best still. Like Drake May has looked special, and Atlanta has looked not great at times. But when Atlanta looks good, I think the good looks better than what the Patriots can do. It is on the road. It's outdoors. It's going to be November, so it's probably going to be cold at Foxborough. But we've seen Atlanta bounce back from bad performances before. If Penix is healthy, I think they cover this. I like Atlanta +5 in this spot. Chargers taking on the Tennessee Titans. Chargers favored by 9.5, with the total being at 43.5. There isn't a whole lot that needs to go into this. The Chargers, if there was going to be a new coach boost, it went away when they punted on 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 in plus territory. That's just... Yeah, there isn't a whole lot there. This is a very well-coached LA Chargers team. They have some holes. The Titans have an opportunity to exploit that with some pressure up the middle. With Simmons being a beast on the defensive line, but the Chargers are still better. So 9.5 is a bit much, though. Just kind of talking it through. The pick for this one is under. We'll go under 43.5 for this game with the Chargers and the Titans. Minnesota taking on the Detroit Lions. Lions favored by 9 with a total at 48.5. There has been a lot of talk about JJ McCarthy. And are the Vikings afraid to use him and everything like that? Personally, I think it makes sense to let who you thought maybe at one point could be face of the franchise quarterback, maybe let him marinate a little bit and make sure he's 100% healthy when you have a Carson Wentz who can try to get something going for you, even though every part of him was breaking down in some sort of a way. I think that they keep it close in this. This is more a respect of what I think Minnesota fully can be defensively. I think they're a very well-coached unit on the defensive side. And so I think they can hang with Detroit here and keep it close. I would, if this was a survivor pool or pick 'em thing like that, I'm going with Detroit. But I think Minnesota keeps it close. I'm liking the Vikings to keep this close at +9. Green Bay taking on Carolina. The Packers favored by 13 with a total of 44. Bryce Young expected to play. I am as excited about the Packers as everyone else is, but this feels a little high to me because we have seen, yes, against Pittsburgh last week, that looked great. And that is the type of performance that can really rocket you forward quite a bit. And Carolina isn't as good on the road as they are at home. But this Green Bay team has played with their food a lot this season. And so to expect them to come away with a blowout victory when they haven't really done that a lot this year, I don't know. So maybe I'm overthinking this a little bit. I'm going Carolina on the road. Road dog, baby. Going road dog at plus 13. And, just the plus 13. Colts taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Indianapolis favored by 3.5 points. The total is 50. This is borderline disrespectful to the Indianapolis Colts, and I don't really understand it. Unless someone is hurt that I don't know about, I think the Colts are a bad matchup for Pittsburgh. I think that they have receivers that can kind of take the top off the defense and exploit where this secondary has been vulnerable this season. I think the offensive line has been good you're not going to take away some of the great pass rushers that the Pittsburgh Steelers have, but they can limit it a little bit. And Jonathan Taylor is better than any running back going in the NFL at this time. And this is a defense that has looked pretty solid against the Steelers offense that has been good, but has been more lucky than good, I think, this season. So I like the Colts big in this. I love this Colts minus 3.5. I might give a little thought to the under as well because of how good I think this Colts defense can be and how little respect I have for what the Pittsburgh Steelers offense could do. San Francisco minus 2.5 against the New York Giants with the total at 48.5. I don't really get this one at all. Like, I understand a lot of injuries on the San Francisco side, and maybe it comes back to finally get them last week. But this is still, even with the injuries they have, this is still a significantly better football team than the New York Giants are rolling out there right now, especially with the injury to Cam Scadaboo. So I don't really get this one at all. I like San Francisco here to win this one by more than a field goal. Absolutely, 100% I do. And that total feels a little bit high for a game where Jackson Dart and Mac Jones could be the quarterbacks here, even though either defense is all that successful. But I would give a look at the under as well. Denver taking on the Houston Texans. The Texans at home, favored by 2. The total sits at 40. I love CJ Stroud. I love Nico Collins. And this defense is really, really good. But even though they have found ways to kind of shore it up the last little bit, this offensive line I don't think is going to be able to handle what the Broncos can bring as a pass rushing unit on defense. I love the Broncos in this spot. I think that defense is really going to dominate against the Texans. I don't think Bo Nix has a particularly good day. We talked about this in fantasy. Neither of these quarterbacks are ones that I'm trusting right now, but I think that there is a real opportunity for Denver to pick up a win on the road in this spot. I'll take the points. I'll take Denver plus 2. Absolutely. I'll even look at Denver plus 105 as a money line play. And looking at the total, under 40 feels like a pretty good spot to be right now also. But the official pick is Denver plus 2. Rams against the Saints. Again, we don't need to break this one down a whole lot. The Rams are a very good team and the Saints ain't. So Rams minus 14. Sure. We'll go with that. Jacksonville taking on the Vegas Raiders. The Jags favored by 2.5 heading into the Vegas hole with the total being 44.5. I get Jacksonville didn't look great the last time we saw them, and it has been a little up and down, but the Raiders are not a good football team. You can make a case that they are one of the 3 worst teams in the National Football League at this particular time. So, no, I'm not buying this at all. I am surprised the number is as low as it is. I don't see it with the Raiders. I don't know what they do offensively to deal with a pretty good pass rush that Jacksonville has. I don't know what the Raiders can do defensively to stop Brian Thomas Jr. Or Trevor Lawrence or anything that Jacksonville has going on the offensive side. So no, I will take Jacksonville minus the 2.5 all day in that one. The game of the day is Buffalo against Kansas City. The Chiefs are favored by 1.5 heading into Buffalo with the total being at 52.5. I know these two teams go a little bit insane when they play each other. I have too much respect for either defense to not take the under on a number that comes in at over 50. I can't not do that. So I love under 52.5 in this spot. Kansas City getting Rice back, I think, is a difference maker. And like Cook, I think, can be a bit of a game breaker in the run game that other teams haven't been able to have against Kansas City when they get going running wise. But I just think Rice is a bit of a difference maker in this spot. I think Kansas City kind of needs this one a little bit more, given where they're at regular season wise. Not that that matters, like that. Oh well, this team wants it more. Well, should have practiced that then. But yeah, I'm gonna go Kansas City minus the 1.5 in this spot. It's gonna be a heck of a football game though. I cannot wait. And Seattle taking on Washington. Seahawks favored by 3 with a total at 47.5. Jaden Daniels coming back certainly makes this interesting. I think Washington's defense continues to get exposed a little bit here. I like Seattle in this spot. I think the defense is really, really good. And just too many injuries. Daniels coming back from an injury is great, but is his timing going to be there? Is his consistency going to be there with the great defense that Seattle has? I just don't think so. So I like Seattle in this spot minus the 3. And then we go to Monday night. Again, these are your primetime breakdowns. So follow me on social media. I am at Primetime Klein. Let's see. Why did my NFL number go away? There we are. Arizona taking on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys favored by 2.5 with the total at 53. Look, Dallas's offense can be elite. Dallas's defense is bad. Arizona, I have said 100 times that I need to give up on these guys. But it's going to need to be 101 more. I like Arizona here. I will go to my, not grave. I don't think I will think about the 2025 Dallas Cowboys that long. But I am going to die on the hill that Dallas isn't that good of a football team. And I think Arizona can be a little bit better than them in this game. So I'll take the points. Arizona plus 2.5. I think this game, it's a huge number at 53. I think it goes over. I like over 53 for Arizona in this spot here against the Dallas Cowboys. So give me that one here for what should be a wild close to the week. Let me know in the chat. What are your kind of locks of the week for this one, and any more questions you have on any of these games, let me know in the chat or in the comments below. I can't imagine I just nailed it 100% all the way through on things that you would agree with me on for this NFL slate.